Oh, really?
Yeah. So let me just make sure. The other day it didn't go live, and I didn't realize it. It's just weird. Got it. So I was just learning how to interact with the new whatever this is going to look like. Um, Good Lord. Well, I'm doing this on YouTube, but my hair is like, what happened? Okay, it was like,
That's like your
oh wow,
what's that little Europe on the Grinch? Or
oh my gosh, we're live, and I can't believe this is happening. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's some odd stuff. Hold on, get the volume up. No, so yeah, it's been a real issue. One, are there any attorneys?
no.
Okay, I didn't think so.
We do have Mr. Jones. He's both on a free trial and on the open court doc.
Okay, who was that? Oh,
Jones.
Jones. Oh, I see where you told me that. Thank you.
Trying to mark it on there. So
Woo. Okay. A lot of unidentified people, so that's going to take a minute. Okay, well, let's just get started. So, good morning. Excuse me. Good morning. I'm Judge Person. I apologize for the late start. I had a bit of a I'm having technical issues with this platform. So, hopefully everything will work out. Mr. Matson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Judge.
Okay, thank you. And I knew I probably could hear you. Okay. I have a few people. I'm Judge Person. Let me just start there. And it's helpful if folks get on screen. If you think about it, if you were here in the court, you wouldn't be hiding. So we ask that you be on screen unless there's a reason that you don't, we don't need to see everything that you do. Let's put it that way. There are a few folks that I can't identify. I also want to just issue a reminder to people that you can't be driving a car and be on a video call. So please don't drive. And then I have a few folks I don't know who you are. So Zoom user, maybe kind of reddish hair. Could you let me know who you are?
Hi, I'm Amberlyn Biddy.
Yes, I've got you. Thank you very much. Yours is, sorry?
wrong person for my hair.
Right. Young lady, and you're in a jacket and a red shirt. And I've asked you to unmute. Yes, you're pointing to your face. Can you unmute and tell me who you are? So unmute.
Hi, I'm Serenity Curry.
Say the last name again.
Curry?
Curry, Serenity Curry.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, I'll be with you shortly. Let's see. I have another person named right now iPhone and black shirt with a little white trim. I just asked you to unmute and tell me who you are. Hello. Can you unmute? It's going to be a long morning if we can't respond. Yeah. Hi.
Hello,
What's your name?
Ariel Day.
Okay. Thank you, Ariel. I'll be with you shortly. And I have another iPhone with not, well, only off the screen there. Glasses, goatee. What's your name, please?
Abel Cruz.
Thank you so much, Abel Cruz. Let's see. And I'm checking everybody in, and that's important. I'm also making sure that I have the right files pulled. So, because I won't have a file named Zoom. So I'm just confirming. And then I have, let's see, I had someone on a device that was, maybe they've changed it. Oh yeah, OnePlus device. Hair kind of up, white shirt. Yes, hi, what's your name?
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Shanquavia Talbert.
Thank you.
Hmm?
I'll be with you shortly.
Okay.
And then if I call your name, it's because I don't know that you're here. Oh, I'm sorry. I have another Zoom user. Can you tell me your name? I'm just hitting you with you have a beard. Yes. Hi.
Are you talking to me?
I am. What's your name, please?
Yes, Jamie Jones.
Thank you, Jamie Jones. Appreciate it. I'll be with you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Thought I had you already checked in. Okay. Maybe something else happened. Okay. So, I have a few more people. Goodness. Okay. Technology can really, let's see. Now we've got people coming in. I had another person come in and identified. A phone call. There's a phone caller with 757 and ending in 834, and I'm asking you to unmute. Can you tell me your name? Yes. Hello on the phone
Yes,
call.
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I'm Gerald St. Louis.
Let's see. Say that again.
Gerald St. Louis.
Thank you, Gerald. St. Louis. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yep. So on the phone, I do want to let you know just to keep an ear open because it's not unusual for people on the phone to just kind of zone out a little bit, not realize they're on. And it's not that you don't know you're on the meeting, but you're not being visually reminded. So just keep an ear out, just like everybody else. I have someone named Candace's iPhone. Can you tell me your name, please?
Hi, yes, ma'am. I am Serenity Curry's mom, and I was.
That's fine.
Okay, they told me to attend.
That's good. Thank you for being on there. Now I know when I call her, I'll unmute you as well. Okay, great. So just gonna give you kind of a little rundown of how things move through a courtroom like this one. I find it helpful. And a couple of things too. Oh, Mr. Chavez, are you driving a car? Armando Chavez, are you driving a car? Mr. Chavez.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask you one last time. Are you driving a car?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Please do not, because it's not going to work.
No, I'm just standing inside the car.
Okay. All right. So when you're given a ticket, this is how things move through this type of court. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is. It's an accusation. When you give a plea, you're giving your answer or your response to that accusation. There are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, no contest. Guilty means I did it. Not guilty means prove it. No contest means I'm not saying one way or the other. Let me move forward with my case. Let me tell you where those pleas take you. That's the more pertinent part of our conversation. So when you plead guilty or no contest, I move into sentencing. I'll talk to you about sentencing in a moment. When you plead not guilty, you're maintaining the innocence that the law presumes, but it's bigger than that. You're also asking that the state prove the case against you. You may have heard the term shifting the burden. You're shifting that burden to the state. You're asking the state to prove the case. That means we're moving that case toward a trial situation. Today, if you've pleaded not guilty, you're on the pretrial docket. That's a Zoom docket. If the case is unresolved after today, we're starting to move that case into the courtroom, because I don't believe in trying cases on a Zoom call. I don't think it's appropriate, very difficult to do, and I think your rights are affected. So I get to make that decision, and that's where I've drawn that line. So if you are, pleading, no, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because an email came in that was important. I can get to it later. However, excuse me for that. When you plead not guilty, so we're moving, after today, we're moving that case to what we call a final pretrial. You'll come in for that meeting. It's not the trial where there's a certain layer of rights that need to be gone through at that point. We need to do that prior to trial. We're also scheduling trial. So that's what you can expect from us as a court, okay? If you plead guilty or no contest, we're going to move that case into sentencing. So sentencing, what does sentencing look like? In a Class C court, sentencing is fines and costs being paid. That means I need to look at your ability to pay. That means in order to be fair, income is important, your life is important, and I've got to look at the details of what your expenses are too. So we've asked for that information in connection with sentencing. We've also asked for that information in connection with pleading not guilty, because at a certain point, I'm scheduling a bond for you on your case. And the same exact information is relevant for both discussions, even though the discussions are different. Because in one setting, I'm moving to sentencing, and the other, we're moving to trial, and the presumption of innocence is still there. And yet the information is the same as you would give a bondsman, right? And we don't do bondsman generally in this type of court, although you can. It's a layer. If you want to engage in that, you can go do that. But if you're pleading not guilty, we ask for it. If you're pleading guilty or no contest, we ask for it, because I really don't want to get the same information with two different forms with a different title at the top. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I just ask for the information one time up front. And then if it changes, you're supposed to be letting us know. In other words, like, let's say you sign up for a payment plan and you lose your job, and I hope that doesn't happen to anyone. But if you do and you let us know, we might be able to make adjustments. So we need to know if something happens, okay? Similarly, if you want to pay early, there's no penalty for that. But fines and costs are the sentence in this type of court. It's not a jail sentence, okay? So that's important, because we're looking at that in connection with sentencing. If you plead guilty or no contest, I'm moving forward. Now, that means normally that it goes on your record and you pay it. In terms of payment, I think I've already expressed, I'm looking at income. I'm looking at what's appropriate. I want to make a successful order, although I still need to make an order, okay? In terms of being found guilty and having it go on your record, I need to talk to you briefly about 4 ways to keep an item off your record. And these are the 4 things I have available from the bench, okay, on a plea of guilty or no contest. If you're pleading not guilty, I'm not sentencing you right now, and I don't know if you're going to be sentenced, okay? We have to come to trial and see what comes of that first. So we're really not having that discussion right now. Nevertheless, it's still important to know the dismissal options. So I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm going to tell you how they work, and then we're going to move forward. Compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. First, compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. I will walk you through those. If you have something that looks like it can be dealt with that way, you can ask me about it. If you want to know more about it, if you want to ask about whether you're eligible, you can, however, assume I'm looking to see. So I'll be walking you through that because the law specifies that I do so. 2, driver safety course options. Those are for moving violations. You have to have the correct type of license. You have to have an offense that's eligible. You have to meet the conditions to get into the program, and you have to successfully complete it. If that all works out, though, you get a dismissal. Okay. It's a good time to have a discussion, though, right now about court costs and fines. So if you call a clerk and you say, how much is this ticket? And they give you like a whole number, okay? Because most people are not that interested in how does it break down and what agencies in the state of Texas get each dollar, okay? Because that's a discussion that can be had. But we figure most people call, they want to know, what would I owe, right? That's what that question is. So you can break that down a bunch of ways, but one way would be court costs and fines. Court costs are set by the state of Texas, and I cannot change those. The legislature can. Fines are set by the judge, and that would be me, okay? In the driving course option, if you are eligible to get into that program, you have to pay the court costs all at once. They are not cheap. The legislature has those set at between $144 and $169. So we'll be looking for collecting that, but the fine goes on hold, okay? So you pay your court costs, you show your license and insurance, your fine is on hold, and you turn in your course, you turn in your record. If you turn in your course and your record on time, and we'll give you a deadline, then you get your case dismissed. It has to be the right course, the right record, on time, dismiss the case, not on your driving record, and the fine that was on hold, we waive it. Okay, I waive that. So one question is, well, I'm paying for a course, I'm paying for a record. Why not just pay the whole ticket? One is it's cheaper to do the course, the record, and the court cost than to pay the whole ticket. And I do that for a reason. The main reason is that we know that people drive better after they do that course. Okay, and the kind of window on that is about a 12-month period. And we date that from the last course to the next ticket. So I'll be talking to you about that, looking to see if you're eligible, if it looks like you might be, okay? You do have to be on time to court to qualify as an upfront thing. So ask about it if you think I should be talking to you about it. Ask about it if you're curious. You may ask questions. I can't give legal advice. I can, however, tell you how things move through a court. Okay. And the difference is applying it to your case and telling you what to do is legal advice. Telling you what we do is just giving information. So I can give you information. And if you ask a question that moves beyond giving information, I'll tell you, hey, I can't answer that one. Okay. In connection with that, if you are looking to see and get legal advice and you want to talk to an attorney, you have the right to do that, but you pay for your own attorney in the Class C setting. And you have to do that before you enter a plea. If I have not yet accepted your plea, you need to ask me for more time if you're trying to go meet with an attorney before we move forward. In other words, Judge, I need time. So you can interrupt me and tell me that if you need to do that. If you've already entered a plea and it's already been accepted, we're working on your sentence. If you already have a sentence and it's not working out, we might be doing that. So there are different ways that different types of people are in a different process depending on their case. And I just see everybody on the same docket because otherwise we wind up with need longer lines than we should have. Okay. So driving safety course, it's a good option. You drive better, you keep it off your record, you save money. If you don't want to do it and I'm pushing you, just let me know you don't want to do it because I'm assuming people might want to keep it off their record and they might want to save money. That's not everybody's most important thing. So let me know, okay, if I'm pushing you to do a thing and like that, because it's optional and I'm making some assumptions there. The third option is if you want to do what is called a deferred disposition. Deferred, we often call it. Deferred means delay. Disposition means to make it final. Put your case on hold. I put a written record, a written document in place. It will tell you the things you have to do to get a dismissal. If you do the things listed, you get a dismissal. It's that simple. So it's a way to keep it off your record where maybe these other two don't work, okay? You do have to make the request up front. Judge, I'd like a deferred. Guilty or no contest. Judge, I'd like a deferred. That's how you ask. That's the magic language. It's not very complicated. However, the law says you make the request. I don't ask you. So just keep in mind a plea plus a request for a deferred. Just Say the word deferred to me and I'll take it from there. I'm not saying I'll grant it. I just have to look at each case individually, but I will consider it each time you make the request of me to do so, because the law says that's my job to do that. Okay. So deferred disposition, that's the third one. The fourth one is teen court. It is similar to deferred, but it's for students. We presume that students have limited to low income, that they are probably in school. So what you're doing there, the other thing that we look at with teen court, what we know about teen court is that students, young people who engage in teen court actually are less likely to reoffend. Is probably the most successful program we have. And in connection with that, if you complete teen court, you do save money. You keep it off your record. Now, in terms of driving, I want to let you know up front, everybody, 25 and under. If you are 25 and under, you are deemed to be the most at-risk group in the state of Texas. And Texas is deemed to be the most at-risk group in the country. So we are the #1 state to kill young people and dismember young people and injure young people than any other state in America. And that's not because we have more people. They made that adjustment. Okay. Texas is a dangerous place to drive. So teen court will help you drive better. Teen court, you're less likely. You have moved into the highest group of injury and death if you got a ticket. And when you do teen court, you move back to square zero, to the beginning group. Generally speaking, statistically, that's a true metric to say that. So if it's driving, we're looking at health and safety. If it's a criminal offense, we're looking at really employability later in your life can be deeply affected by things you do when you're young. There is some shielding of that, but it's not absolute. And with teen court, you get a dismissal. Okay. So if you complete it, okay, we got to get you to complete it. And I'm looking to make realistic goals for you in those settings, in those deferral settings, in teen court settings, in any sentencing. I'm trying to hit that sweet spot where it is a sentence, but it's a realistic sentence. So I'm going to be nosy because I'm supposed to. Okay. So understand that up front. Just, put aside any concern you have about hearing people hearing about your affairs, because that's what courts do. We are open and we are public. Okay. All right. So that's really the 101. Okay. If you have questions about that, you can ask them. Everyone will have a turn. Even though I was having technology problems at the beginning, I did note who logged in when. So I'm going to take people in that order. And I want to also introduce Mr. Matson. Mr. Matson is the prosecutor for the city. He is an attorney. He is not your attorney any more than I am, but he does not work directly for me. He works for the city and answers to the city attorney's office. So he is the equivalent of a district attorney. Okay. If you are talking to him today on the pretrial docket, you do need to keep in mind his station, which is as a prosecutor. Okay. He is also charged in this court with doing the right thing. Okay. And he is looking at his case and making a decision based on the position that the filing party is taking. Okay. And you're on the other side of that if you're on that docket. And just understand that he cannot represent you, but he's also going to be looking realistically at his case. And I expect that of you as well. We as citizens have certain duties and rights, and our rights should be protected, but they are also protected by our duties. For example, let me give you one example because this comes up a lot in this type of setting, the on-time issue. So when you're given a ticket, your court date is on the ticket and the court phone number is printed on the ticket. In case you can't read the ticket, you can call, okay? And you're usually told by that officer that here's your court date, right? So you're expected to honor that court date and you sign saying you will. If you don't, they have the right to take you to jail. So we have the right to, you might have heard this, right? The right against unreasonable search and seizure, Fifth Amendment, right? Okay, here's the deal. It's not very reasonable to stop people by the side of the road going 5 miles over the posted speed limit and take them all to jail and tow their car. I think we can all agree that would be unreasonable, right? But that right is also balanced by the duty to show up. And if it looks like you're not going to show up, there's a right that gets infringed on more gently, which is that an arrest warrant can be had if you don't show up to court. We send a warning to the address that was provided by you to the police officer, or by whatever means that we're legally allowed to get it. And you have a duty to keep your address current. You have a duty to show up on time. If you don't sign, they have the right to take you to jail. So our rights are actually balanced by our duties. So always understand that. There's a lot of conversation. People want to talk about their rights, and there's no right without a duty. Absolutely none. Okay. I'm not going to go off on that too much more. Okay, because I'll bore you to death, and it's just stuff that interests me probably. Okay, let's get started. And again, I'm Judge Person. Mr. Matson, let me begin by starting your pretrial docket, and we're going to start with Daniel Hampton. And Daniel Hampton, can you go ahead and just unmute? Thank you so much. Just want to make sure your audio is working.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So what will happen now is that I will send you over to a breakout room.
Okay.
Thank you. The reason that we do that for folks on that docket is that as the judge of the court, I'm assuming that those cases could go to trial. Making that assumption gives you the largest protection of your rights, okay? Part of that protection is you have the right to a fair and impartial decision maker if it goes to trial. So there's a few ifs in there. However, I am not supposed to hear the facts of the case until that trial. I'm not supposed to talk to Mr. Matson separately from you. I'm not supposed to talk to you separately from him, except on the issue of scheduling. Like I can have a clerk call you and say, will this date work? I can have a clerk call Mr. Matson and say, will this date work? What I can't do is say, hey, what's your witness going to say at trial? Hey, why are you taking this to trial? So I'm going to stop you if you work on trying to tell me about those facts until I know the direction it's going. And if the direction it's going is trial, I'm going to say, hey, we got to reserve that for trial, because everybody has to be in the room and hear what everybody else has to say in that particular path. So I'm not trying to be rude to anyone. I don't expect anyone to be rude to me either. However, I am protecting the position of our law here in the court. So even though we're on Zoom and it feels less formal, well, I get that. However, I'm going to still do court the way court's supposed to be done. So that's for everyone to know, okay? I think Zoom is really helpful when it works, because then everybody can kind of not have to go out into the cold and the rain and the wet and take off all morning to sit in the courtroom. And as long as you're staying respectful and we're making progress of moving the case toward a final outcome, I don't have an opinion about what that outcome is. That's my job, is to keep it going, okay? So, Ms. Hampton, what'll happen is it'll move you, and anyone on the pretrial, it should move you automatically. Now, because I had to log in under a browser instead of through the program, I don't know if that's going to happen automatically. It may be a button that you have to click.
Can I go ahead and click it, ma'am?
You can.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and start with Amberlyn Biddy. Can you unmute Amber Biddy and let me know where you are on the screen? There you are. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Thank you for asking. I'm very well. So let's see. All right, so I have a possession of tobacco by a minor, and the costs and fines, if you paid it, are $181. That particular thing, that offense, is one of those things that is a little bit more than fines and costs. So there are fines and costs, and those are $181. And then the law requires a tobacco awareness class. And if you don't do the class, there is literally a 6-month suspension of your driver's license. If you don't have a license yet, it's a suspension on your ability to get one, and your license will reflect a suspension, and that can limit when you're allowed to get that license. So I just need to make you aware of that, okay? Do you understand, before I look at your plea, do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, great. So the tobacco thing, I did receive from you a plea and, hang on. And that was a plea of no contest and a request to pay within 30 days. I don't have a problem with that, but let me talk to you a little bit about it first, okay? So first of all, I did kind of describe all the pleading options of guilty, not guilty, and no contest, and your right to get an attorney if you need to do that first. Do you understand those pleading options and that right?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. And then the other thing I want to tell you about is that the state of Texas has a program that is called a first offender tobacco program. And how that works is that you pay the court costs, which are $81, I believe. Yes. Sorry, I had to check in with the clerk.
Was
Yeah.
it 181 or just 81?
Right. So that's a great question. It's 181 if you pay the whole thing, and then you're required to take a tobacco class. If you do the program I'm talking about, which is like a deferral, it's a little bit different. You just pay the court costs, which are $81 and not $181. You pay the $81 instead. And then you have a 90-day window to do a tobacco awareness class, which you can do online and turn it in. And I waive the $100 and dismiss the charge.
Okay. How do you do that? What would I have to do in order to do that?
Yes. So my first question then becomes, can you pay the $81 today?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
And then I need you to come by, and how you do that is you sign up for it by signature. And, we give you the tobacco class information, and you leave the court with what you need to finish. You go online, you pick a course, you get it done, you get it turned in, and you get a dismissal. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where are you in Temple?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Can you come by this morning to the court?
Yes, I can.
Okay. It will not take very long. Once you get here, you can plan to be here about 10, maybe 15 minutes. Come on in. Any clerk can help you. They'll have your paperwork. You make the payment. They'll give you the course information. You'll sign, you'll read your order. You'll sign up saying you understand it. They'll get a copy for you, and you leave with it, and you turn it in on time.
Is there a certain time, or just whenever I get off of the Zoom call, just head up there?
Right. So right now it's about 9:45. Okay. Why don't we say by 10:30?
That's good with me.
Okay. And then just your class is a 12-hour class, and your due date is March 23rd. Now, you don't have to wait that long. You can get it done next week and turn it in and be done. Okay. Just don't miss the deadline. Okay.
And you said the deadline was March 23rd?
Yes. And actually, when you get here, this will all be in writing. It'll be like a checklist, and you'll be able to know exactly what and when. It's just one thing, though. After today, there are two things: payment of the court costs and the class. And you're paying the court costs today, so it's over. The class turned in on time. I sign a dismissal, and I waive the remaining $100.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay. Ms. Biddy, I'll tell you, this is a personal issue for me. And I don't mean this like to harp on it, okay? Tobacco, it's one of those things, and I don't know if it was vaping or what was it?
It was a vape at school.
Okay. So vaping is actually maybe even more dangerous. They're learning. And your class needs to include vaping awareness, okay? It won't be different. It'll be the same. But I just want to make sure that you get that information. My mother died from it, and I took care of her. It's okay. She lived a long life, but at the end, her life was really filled with a lot of suffering. And she would have lived longer. It's true. And she also would have lived better. So I would like you to get some good information. But the other part to it is it's a game changer in terms of an expensive habit. it really changes your life. Like you don't get to have other things because that addiction will require your attention. So I hope you get good information. I look forward to hearing to you that you successfully completed the class. And I do wish you a happy holiday, okay?
Thank you. You too.
So you'll come to the window, you'll get signed up, you'll leave and go do it. If you need an excuse when you get here for work or what have you, you can get that at the window, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Benny. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Am I allowed to leave now?
You are.
All right. Have a good day.
You too, ma'am. Okay, I'm moving forward. And my next person is going to be Katie Moffett or Kati Moffett. You can tell me how you like it to be said. But let me find you on my screen. Let's see. There we are. Can you unmute? There
Yes,
you are.
ma'am. It's Katie. It's just
Okay.
without an E. Sorry.
It's all right. No problem. I just asked because I like to try to say people's names correctly.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a few things going on with you. Let me give you the rundown. Sometimes people get a little nervous when I do this, but I really need to make sure I'm tracking everything happening with your case. And excuse me for just a moment. I need to let somebody in who's late or who got disconnected. I don't know which it is. And because they're on an iPhone, I'm not sure. Let me make sure that's going to connect. Well, I can, yeah. So user who just came in, can you unmute and tell me your name? iPhone person?
Carla Kelso, I'm sorry.
What is the last name?
Kelso.
Oh, Kelso. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've got you logged in. We'll get to your case pretty soon.
Okay.
All right. And okay, so back to you, Ms. Moffett. So I'm just going to walk through where we are. This all starts April 27th of 2021. All the cases are in warrant. And I do have a hold on your license, I believe, which can trigger additional consequences. But I need to begin by trying to clear your case by making sure that I have your pleas correctly identified, that you know the charges, and then we'll move forward and look at what is reality-based sentencing, okay? So April 27th, there is a stop. It begins with an expired motor vehicle registration charge. The fines and costs now are at $4.30. That is, due to the passage of time, fees have been added, collection activities that generate fees get added. I do have a plea from you. And on that one, the plea that I received was for guilty. And I just need to confirm first, is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then there is a no insurance charge. It's called failure to maintain financial responsibility. The fines and costs are also at $430.30. And I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you insured driving the vehicle at that time?
I did submit in at that time the proof of insurance. The officer wasn't able to verify it.
Did you bring it to the court for us to attempt to verify it?
I emailed it in.
When?
When I submitted my pleas on my cases, I replied back with the copy of my insurance at that time and my current insurance now.
Okay, I'll look at that and see if there's any movement there for us. Part of the issue is, and I need to ask you on the next charge, it's a no driver's license charge. The fines and costs, again, are, let me get that pulled up, $430.30. And I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then there can be issues if you're not a named driver, if you are driving a vehicle, because we don't know unless the insurance confirms that, an unlicensed driver is driving. Sometimes insurance companies won't include that person because they're driving unlawfully. So we'll have to try to see what we can do to verify. But I haven't looked at it, and I will before we move forward. Have we found that yet?
We did try to verify the insurance and it was not active.
Okay, when we called to verify that insurance, the insurance company told us that the policy was not active at the time of that particular stop.
Okay.
Did we check it?
When I sent in, it shows the expiration date to be.
Well, yeah, it can show the expiration date, but like,
Right.
for example, let's say that I sign up to do a 6-month policy of insurance and it's on an automatic draft. And then for some reason I close that bank account. You know, and then it doesn't get paid. So it gets canceled. You know, I don't know. I wasn't there. What I do know is that under the law, if you submit something and it says something, I am supposed to call and verify. And if they say yes, then it's a yes. If they say no, then the burden is on you to prove that that's incorrect information. So I just,
Yes,
you know, you need to know that. So then I'm just checking to see the next stop is a stop for, let's see, we have several more. There is a December 19th stop of 2021. The fines and costs, it's a no insurance charge. The fines and costs are $430.30. I did receive a no contest, sorry, a guilty plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then there is a no driver's license charge. The fines and costs are $430. I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I received notice of another violation of no insurance from January 24th of 2022. The fines and costs are $430.30. I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, hang on just a moment. He was supposed to come in 2 days ago, right? Who's he working with you? Is this Mr. Gomez? Oh. I mean, I'll allow, excuse me just a moment. I'll allow him to do it, but let's remind him that I'm not taking his class in late. And we do need to put when it's due on here. I mean, I don't know. I need to start just making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to. Okay, sorry, should I initial? Let me initial the change. Okay, what a mess. All right, so, okay, Ms. Moffett, let me let you know a couple of things. I do have a hold on your ability to register your vehicle, okay? I can release that. The hold on the license, though, I release when I know that we've cleared the cases. I do see that you're working, and I do see that you're a single parent, and I can make some adjustments. Let me ask you a question. Can you still hear me? Because you're muted.
Yes, ma'am, I can. I was letting you finish speaking before replying.
Okay, you don't have to unmute. You don't have to remute for that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you a question. Are you paid? When are you paid in your position?
I get paid bi-weekly.
So every 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
What day of the week does that happen?
On Fridays.
Fridays, okay. And so this is calculated wrong. And then I'm showing that, you put under income, you put other, and you put 1174. What is that?
My children's father, my husband, is deceased, so my children receive survivor benefits.
Okay.
I didn't want to say Social Security because it's from Social Security, but it's not Social Security. It's named something else, so that's why I put other.
Okay, yeah, it's named survivor benefits. That's fine. Okay. And then I just wanted to ask you a few questions. You have how old are your kids, Bryson?
He just turned 18. He's still a senior in high school.
Okay, and I will say this wrong. Jahim?
Jahim.
Jahim, how old is he?
Yeah. He's 16.
Mackenzie?
She's 15.
And Jaden?
He's 14.
Okay. And any other children in the home?
No, ma'am.
And do you have like a tax bill that you pay on your home? Or is it renting?
I rent.
Okay. No problem. And I had here, food, housing, electric, water, cell phone, insurance, cable, and your Honda bill. Are there any other expenses that I need to be made aware of?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You might have said it, but I probably didn't hear it. Car payment?
Yes, definitely got that.
Okay.
Okay. So you had requested to pay $75 a month, and I don't have a problem with that. I just, can you pay anything today towards your balance?
I can make a $75 payment today.
Okay. We can have this be every month the due date. Would you like to do it that way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'm going to need you to sign for this payment plan. I can email this to you, and you can sign it and print it, sign it, and scan it back over, or email it back over, or fax it. I don't care how I get it, but I just need a legal signature on a payment plan. Or you can come by the court to do that. Which will work best for you?
Email. I have a printer and scanner at home since I work from home.
Okie doke. All right. We will email that to you, and once I get that back, I can sign. I can release your warrants. However, and I can release the scofflaw hold on the car. I don't know how long that takes to clear. Does anyone here know that? How long? Okay.
Might be a little bit longer than the holidays right now.
Right. Given the holidays, it might be a little longer, but it's generally 7 to 10 business days. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So just to recap, I'm releasing the hold on the vehicle registration. I'm recalling your warrants once you sign up for your payment plan. And then the Omni hold on the license is when you get it finished paying. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can always pay more. You can always pay more and get done faster, and it won't count against you to do that. Okay. Now, what was your question?
On the email, or is there something that can be sent for how I can make the payments every month and
Yeah.
how I can make the payment today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I think they do that automatically, but I'll put a note to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. We'll send that out to you shortly. Okay. Just keep an eye out for it because we need to get it back today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'll be checking and get it sent in right away.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. And I'm moving forward with Chance Beard. Good morning, Mr. Beard. How are you?
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. This is a possession of a tobacco charge. The fines and costs are $181. I do show this to be a first offense in terms of, what we have here at the court. I do need to let you know that there is a first offender program that allows for a dismissal. In that situation, you would pay the $81. You would complete the tobacco awareness class and turn it in. You would have to do that anyway. But if you do it this way, you do not get a license suspension and you get a dismissal of the charge and you save $100. Okay. So to recap, if you pay the fines and costs of 181 and get found guilty, you owe a tobacco class. And if you don't do it, there's a 6-month suspension of your license. If you do the first offender program, you only pay the $81. You do pay for your class, you get it turned in on time, and you avoid the license suspension. Do you want to do the first offender program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do need a signature today. Can you pay the $81 today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then your class is a 12-hour class to include vaping awareness. And it's due March 23rd. You do not have to wait that long. You can get this turned in earlier and get it done faster and be finished with it. You'll save $100 and you'll avoid a license suspension. Are you, do you feel like you understand what I'm going to be asking you to do?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Okay. When can you be here at the court to sign your documents today and make payment?
I could be here, or I could be there by like 11.
Okay. 11 it is. We'll see you then. Okay.
All right, yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're good to go unless you have any questions.
No, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Okay. Mr. Matson, I know that you and Ms. Hampton were talking about the case. Let me get the file pulled before we get moving. There we go. This is considered to be an assault by contact. The fines and costs are $296. Where are we with regard to this case, Mr. Matson?
Your Honor, Ms. Hampton is going to be placed on deferral.
Okay.
And the terms of that are the 120-day period and 8 hours of an anger course by the 60th day.
Okay.
And then I wanted to see if she was eligible for community service.
Let me look. Okay, just one second. Yes, I'm declaring Miss Hampton indigent and therefore eligible to do the community service instead of payment of fines and costs. When we do that, in this particular instance, that comes out to 15 hours of community service. And I will have that due date be the same as the class, due February 21st. I want to tell you, Miss Hampton, that I'm more than okay following the agreement that you have made with Mr. Mattson. The way that I understand that agreement is that you'll be on a deferral, and we'll put this in writing, but I just want to get an upfront understanding. The deferral will last 120 days, which we put that on the next available court date in case I need to hear something about it, and that will be April 25th. You'll have a 8-hour anger management class due no later than February 21st, and 15 hours of community service also due no later than February 21st. We'll give you class information. We'll also give you community service information. With community service, I have a list of local providers. If you leave the list, you need to get the provider approved beforehand. We give you 2 weeks to let us know if you're trying to do it that way. So that due date is January 5th. That's if you're leaving the list and going to some nonprofit that isn't on the list. We need to confirm that it's a nonprofit up front and get that proof up front so that you don't waste your time, okay? It just causes a lot of problems if it's not one. So we want to make sure, and what you'll do is submit information to us about that. Otherwise, we have a list of places, a list of rules, and a timesheet to keep track of your hours. You get your hours turned in no later than your due date, February 21st, and that zeroes out your balance. Then I'll also need your class, and I'll also need, just no convictions, no more offenses, no warrants, no arrests for that 4-month period. Is that your understanding of what you are agreeing to do?
Yes.
Okay. So it's by far, because there's a lot of information coming at you, it's easier if you come in to sign up today and do all of that at the front, because then you'll have minutes to review everything and make sure that you don't have any added questions. Clerks can answer basic questions. If it leaves the basic question period, then they'll get a question to me if I need to answer it. So you can still ask questions at the window, but do you have any questions right now?
No.
Okay, this results in a dismissal if you follow the path of it, okay?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. And so my next question is, when can you be here?
I can come today. I had to take off of work today, so.
Okay, what time works best for you? Can we get you in the next 30 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we should have everything close to ready by the time you get here. Don't rush, but we'll have it. If you do need an excuse to get back to work, we can issue that too, because it'll only be about 15 minutes or so when you're here. Okay? All right, I'll let you go for now, okay?
Merry Christmas.
Same to you, ma'am.
Am I allowed to sign out completely of the meeting?
You are, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mattson, I'm going to move you forward. Jamie Jones, can you unmute? Where are you? Let me find you. There you are. Can you unmute and get on screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there you are. Let's see. Okay, great. So you actually have matters on my docket and matters with Mr. Mattson as well. Let me just make sure we are all on the same page about who's talking about which stuff, okay?
Okay.
Let's see. Let me get the file pulled. Do I have 2 packets or is it on one side?
It's just on one.
That's fine. Okay, let me get that pulled up. I was in the wrong pile. Okay, so I'm talking to you about your license charge. Unless you choose to talk to Mr. Matson about it, it's an open case. But you are scheduled on the not guilty docket with Mr. Matson on the no insurance case. So I'm going to move you over to that meeting, and Mr. Matson will join you there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving forward. I am wanting to talk to Leobardo Trujillo. Can you get on screen and unmuted?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Where are you?
My house.
Okay, just there's some background noise that.
Okay.
Okay, let me look and see because let's see where we are. The last time we spoke, you were getting a license. Let's see. Give me just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Help me. Where are we on this case? These cases. Well, he was supposed to.
We got emails from him saying he could not log in. We told him he needed to contact the 1125 and he kept contacting us.
Okay. But it's not due until January 3rd.
I don't know if he's done this class.
Yeah, and they probably aren't meeting between now and then. Do we know? So the way that this worked is that you were going to do the Alive at 25 class. And when it came time to log into that class, you kept thinking that we were supposed to set you up for that, but you were supposed to set you up for that. We gave you the course information. So did you ever get signed up? Did you get yourself signed up for that?
No.
Okay, I don't think that class is going to meet between now and your due date, which is January 3rd.
Okay.
So I don't see that working out, which means the court order that I made, you didn't follow. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we also have, that was for one offense. We also have an essay due on January 3rd and 2
That's
months.
completed.
Is it turned in?
Yes.
Did we get that? We don't have that. When did you turn it in? How did you turn it in?
I emailed it to the email that it told me to email it to.
It. Who is it? What did it tell you to do? We told you to email it to Court Online Help. When did you do that?
Yeah, that's 2 days ago on Tuesday.
Are we behind us? We'll check. You should be calling and confirming that. This idea that you push it off and that somehow this case is somebody else's responsibility, you need to get away from that thought pattern. It's not going to work for you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That's what got you in trouble to begin with, is that pattern of thinking that other people are going to be responsible for you. You're 17. You're legally an adult. If you get arrested, you go to adult jail. You don't go to kid jail anymore. Okay? Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're checking to see if we have that essay. We were also looking for 2 months of prepaid insurance, and we did receive that. Okay, we have the essay. How does it look? Okay, and we have the insurance. Okay, great. All right, we do have the insurance, and we do have the essay. So that one is going smoothly because and the essay looks like it's probably going to work out. She gave a quick look at it, so I can't promise, but it looks good. The insurance looks good. We'll check on it, but that's working out. So that particular order is working. The other order, however, for the license charge, That was the one where you were going to do Alive at 25, and we're not going to get there. The problem with teen court, it's the best part, but it's the hard part, is we don't have a big window, and your deadline of January 3rd is our final date. So I can switch you to an online class that is going to be, you just pay them and log in. I mean, did you pay Alive at 25? Did you pay them for your?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure how you thought that was going to work, but anyway,
Yeah.
let's, I mean, you know, like I didn't sign up, I didn't pay, and I expected someone to tell me how to log in. We gave you the course information with the login information and how much it was going to cost you and the dates and everything.
Yes.
So I can switch you to a life skills class. What are my hours options there? Let me look and see what my options are in terms of getting that done. Now with that, you could start today and get it done by your January 3rd date. Okay, it's a 20-hour class. I can email you the class information. Okay. And then you pick a class. There's a list of places, and you can pick one that will work for you to get a total of 20 hours of life skills classes, hours in, okay?
Okay.
We'll email that to you today. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just making some notes here. And making sure that your order reads properly. And all we're scanning is the top page and the modified page or order. Okay, we'll email that to you. You're going to have to pay for your class though and get going and get it done. They are not going to make sure that you turn it in. You have to get it turned in and call and make sure we received it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. That way you can still get the dismissal and avoid paying $181.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Trujillo.
Have a good day.
You're good to go. You too. Okay. My next person is Serenity Curry. Miss Curry, can you unmute and get on screen?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's see. Have you graduated from high school?
No, ma'am.
Are you enrolled?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So there is a theft under $100, and the fines and costs are $296. And I just want to check in with the clerk for a minute. Is this a first offense? She had one?
Yes.
Okay. So just one second. Yeah. Yeah, he needs to get busy. Okay. So we have a first offender program, and the way that works is that, I'm sorry, let me just look real quickly. I did receive a plea of no contest. And is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The way the first offender program works, you're going to have to get somebody to help you pay for a theft class, a theft intervention class.
Yes, ma'am.
It's an 8-hour class. You can take it online. I'm sorry, let me get your mom off mute too.
Oh, I don't know if you want to do that because she has the baby with her right now, but she can hear you.
Okay, that's cool. That'll work. I mean, you're 17. She doesn't have to be here, but
Yes.
she logged in, which honestly, that's a good thing for you. Even though you're legally, technically,
an adult.
Well, you are it's a weird thing in Texas. You're an adult for criminal purposes, but not for some things. So like you can go to adult jail, but maybe not get a driver's license. So, I mean, there's some like illogic happening there, but, anyway, the way that it's going to work here is if we can get your signature on the first offender reset, basically we give you a period of time to get the course done and turned in. And if you get it done and turned in on time, we dismiss it and you don't pay the $296 and it doesn't go on your record. It's
Yes, ma'am.
it's a pretty good deal. It's a local option. Not all courts have this option. It's an option that I have worked out with our prosecutor because I think we are like-minded on this issue. When you're young and you get an offense like this, if it goes on your record, it can deeply affect your employment for your future. And I mean, for a long time. So I think it's the best way to approach this.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
want-
Question: do you know how much the course would cost?
It kind of depends. And let me pull something and give you a better answer.
Yeah.
Is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
30, 60 days that we reset? I think it's 30, but if you can help me. The theft class is going to range. There's a pretty big range here. Anything from, depending on the hours, and we require 8 hours, which is down the middle. The range is $25 to $95. I think probably you're going to pay about $45 to $50.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have to have an internet connection or go to the library if you don't. But
Yes, ma'am.
I'm assuming you do because we're on this call.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it 60 or 30? Yes. So we reschedule you for 30 days from today. And, that's going to be January 24th.
Yes, ma'am.
And that would be to confirm that you've turned in your class. So you'll log in. And, I'll make sure and I'll talk to you about it and I'll tell you, yes, I'm signing that dismissal or no, I'm not. So you want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah, there's going to be a list that we provide you and it'll have, all the places that provide theft intervention classes. And then you take at least 8 hours and get it turned in. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when can you come by to get that? Or if we email it, can you sign it, print it, sign
Yes.
it, and email it back?
Yeah, you can send it in. You can send it to my email.
Okay. And you can print it, sign it, and email it back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We need it today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll get that to you. And then just before that next court date, send us the completion certificate, call and make sure we received it, and then log into the meeting. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any
So
questions?
is it all getting sent to my email?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That's the email that we use to send you the meeting link. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too. And Mom, I'm going to log you out as well. And Mr. Mattson, I know that you were talking with Mr. Jones. Where are we with Mr. Jones's case? Oh, is he back in the meeting?
I don't see him yet, Your Honor.
Hold on. It would probably help if I did it.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Mr. Jones?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great. Okay, Mr. Mattson was waiting and he was just about to tell me, and we wanted to get you in the meeting first. Where are we with regard to the insurance charge?
Your Honor, Mr. Jones and I actually spoke about both tickets when we have reached an agreement. I'm going to be dismissing the insurance ticket and he is going to be pleading no contest on the driver's license ticket.
Okay. And I actually already have, I think, the license plea in place, so that's easy. Okay. And then, sir, you had asked to pay within 30 days, but I'm actually showing that what we should be doing is community service due within 30 days. If we do that, it would be 9 hours. And it would be due by January 24th.
Okay.
Will you accept that modification?
Yeah. So that will cover the whole ticket for the driver's license, right?
Yes, sir. It would.
I will accept that. Actually, I'll accept that.
Okay. So, Mr. Matson, let's see, are we doing that or is he sending?
I'm printing it right now.
Okay, we're printing that dismissal, so you don't need to send it.
Okay.
And I will sign that here in just a quick hot moment. And then my next question, Mr. Jones, is I can email this all to you. There's one form for you to print and sign and get back to us today, or
Okay.
you can come by and just do it at the window. What's going to work best for you?
I don't have a printer access, nothing like that, so I'm gonna have to come in. Are you located next to the water?
Yes, right where you came before.
Okay.
What time should we look for you?
I don't have the vehicle right now, so I'm probably gonna have to try to catch one of these bus lines. It's probably like an hour.
That's fine. Why don't we say by 12:30 or 1?
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay. All right. So coming in.
Will it have my first start date that I have to do the community service on, or?
Right. So that's a good question. I actually am going to rely on you to be a grown-up and get that set up for yourself.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a list of places, a list of rules, and a timesheet. If you leave the list that we've provided, you have to get it pre-approved. It must be a nonprofit. We need to confirm that it is an active current nonprofit, and that deadline would be January 5th.
Okay. I hope they got the pet shelter on there. I go down there. That'll be straight.
Where?
The pet shelter.
Right. They are not currently on our list. They've never agreed to be on our list. There's a long legal reason why.
Okay.
If you have an existing relationship with them, there might be an exception in there, person by person. I don't know.
Okay.
But I don't take general walk-ins on that. But there are some, the recycling center right across the way, I think still does. Right?
Well, I just
Yeah.
know those guys over there, they always need some help. Every time I go in there, they're always looking for volunteers over there. So, man, I'll still try to.
You can work it out with them, and I would take it. It's a city office because I know it's a nonprofit, you see.
Yes, ma'am.
So city offices, but still formally, you need to tell us that by January 5th, and there'll be a form in your packet to use to tell us that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
If it's not on the list, you need to tell us before you do it.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, we'll have everything at the window for you, okay?
All right, I'll be there.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
So I'm good to leave?
You are.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Have a good Merry Christmas.
And you too.
All righty. Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, moving you forward, your next person is Gerald St. Louis. Gerald St. Louis, can you unmute? That's a phone call, I believe, so. Gerald, oh, there you go. Hi, Gerald St. Louis, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're on a phone call, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to move you over to the pretrial meeting with the prosecutor. And the way that the phone call thing works, it should take you over to the meeting. There could be a prompt, I'm not positive. What I do know is at the end, I'll expect you to come back into this meeting. You'll have to hang up and dial back in, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'm sending you over to that meeting now. Okay, that just happened and went smoothly, so hopefully it'll stay smooth. I'm moving forward with Ariel Day. Ariel Day, are you still here?
Yes.
Great. I saw you had some technical stuff. I'm glad you're back in the meeting. So let me just kind of we rescheduled you to today, and you were getting signed up for getting a license, and you were going to update me today so that we could move forward. Where are you with that process?
I have an appointment next month to do the test.
Okay, when's your date?
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
I signed her up. I wanted to get it done before this meeting when school was out for the Christmas.
Yes.
But the next they had was January the 3rd at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And it's called Hallmark Educational Group. It's here downtown Temple.
Okay, and that's to do a class, or is that to take the test?
It's to take a written test and watch a driving educational video.
Okay, all right, because Ariel's 18, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, and then at that point, you think she'll have a permit, or where are we?
The lady I spoke with said if she passes the written test, then they'll give her a certificate, and she'll take that to the DPS station, and they should give her a driving permit until she does her driving test.
Okay.
If she passes the driving test, then they'll give her the license.
Okay. All right, and then was the vehicle insured at the time of the stop?
No, ma'am, it wasn't. We recently put insurance on it.
Okay. All right. So here's what I think would probably work the best.
Eye on her.
On the insurance case, we would want to get the current insurance, and I would like to get that in the next, I would say 30 days.
I'm going to turn that in, ma'am.
Does it have her on it, though? Okay, I don't think it will, and they're having technical trouble, and they just went away. So they'll come back in. I'm sure they've been diligent. So I'll take that back up with them when they get back in. I'm going to move forward and not wait. Abel Cruz, can you get unmuted and let's talk about your case?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Okay, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
I came to the car to look for a paper I kind of needed.
Right now, I'm trying to have a hearing with you. Can you stop what you're doing so that we can communicate, or do I need to come back to you?
No, I just wanted to show you a paper. It's not important.
Well, it's important enough you want me to see it. What is it?
It's just I'm not sure what it's called, but we can go ahead and get started.
Mr. Cruz, I have a request to make. Can you just stop and
I'm trying to get back to my room.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I just saw I had time. I was trying to get this paper.
Well, no, but we've been on the meeting for an hour and a half.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there's a no driver's license charge, and the fines and costs are $181. I did receive a plea from you at this point, and the plea that I received was a guilty plea. I know that you got your license, but the Texas law doesn't provide for a dismissal just for getting the license. It's not a compliance issue, because if we're driving illegally, we're not legally driving if we get the license later. So I can go ahead and just, do payments with you.
Could I give my explanation of why it took me a while to get my license?
Well, I read your explanation. But the state law still doesn't let me dismiss it. I mean, it's not a compliance issue. I read why, but I mean, if we don't have a license, we're not allowed to drive. And if we then drive, we're not legally driving because later we get a license. It's kind of like insurance. If you hit someone and go try to get a policy after the fact, they're not going to cover that stop. You get it? Okay, you do have a license now, and I'm glad to hear it, but I'm not able to dismiss for that.
Okay.
Yeah. I can set you up with a payment plan. You got a pre-warrant letter, which means you missed a court date. Definitely, if I sign you up for a payment plan, you need to hit the target early or on the date that it's due, okay? Because really want you to go to Warren. It's paperwork for me and it costs you money. And there's no real good reason to do that. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
You had made a request, or you didn't make a request. Do you need more than 30 days to pay this? It's 181.
Could I go sit in today?
You would pay it today?
Could I go sit in today and do jail time?
No.
Okay, because I actually don't have a job right now. I quit on Friday.
Why did you quit?
I just felt unvalued as a worker. I felt like I had they sent me to go do bigger responsibilities, and they still kept calling me a helper, paying me as a helper, and I felt like I've shown them and proved my work and my worth for a good while already, and I didn't see improvement, ma'am, and it was just in the heat of a moment. I made they didn't want to pay me my gas when they were sending me south, and I told them, okay, you don't want to pay me my gas, I don't want to be sent south no more, and I don't want to work with this person. And then he just said,
got a pretty good picture of it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, you don't got that option. I said, okay, I don't have that option. Thank you, sir. And thank you for the work. And that's pretty much how it went.
I can order community service instead. It would be 9 hours with a due date of January 24th. And I have a list of places here. Now you're in Pflugerville, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the way that would work is it's going to be a nonprofit. It has to be a nonprofit in your community is fine, but you're going to need to get it pre-approved before you go. And I have a 2-week sort of window on you finding a place, filling out a form, and verifying with us that it's a nonprofit so that we can approve it and you don't waste your time doing something that isn't going to count, which I think you're aware that can be really frustrating. But I would move because you're out of town and I know we're going to have to do that, I'm going to move your due date out to 60 days. We still have a January 5th date for pre-approval. So you'll need to find where you're going to do it, in other words, and we'll have a form for you to fill out to show us, yes, it's a nonprofit. And then you'll have a due date of February 21st on that 9 hours to make payment. Okay.
So there's sometimes that I make like sandwich bags, and I make different things and kind of just go and give them to people in need. And I had a plan of doing something like that for the holidays, putting in a pair of socks and then just making a sandwich, a water and some chips and snacks, and then just going around and giving them, like I said, to people that
has to be it has to be a nonprofit under Texas law for me to accept it. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
okay.
That's a great thing to do. It also means that, you might be able to make a low payment, but I'm willing to go with community service or like a $20 a month payment plan. But I'm asking you to tell me if you're going to take the direction I'm offering you, which
I'll
is
take it.
Yeah. Okay. So I need a signature on the form. It's on one page. If I email everything to you, can you print it, sign it, and email me that page back?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then just be aware, read everything today in case you have further questions. You can always email or call a clerk. Generally speaking, email would be better than a phone call, although sometimes it's a quick question. If they can't answer, they can get a question to me if we need to do that. But the biggest thing is if you're, since you're going to use a provider that isn't on our list, let's get a pre-approval in the next 2 weeks of the place you're going to go. You've got to find that. Okay. I don't find that for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
So if you look at my list, you can get a sense of what might be helpful, like really any like food banks, those kinds of places, churches, nursing homes are good guesses. City services in your community, library, animal shelters, those kinds of services. So Those are places you might look, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any questions right now?
Would it be easier for me to just stop by and sign the paper?
Sure.
Okay.
What time?
I'm actually not too far from there right now. I'm right here at my friend's house, but I'm probably gonna say 30 minutes. I should be there. 11
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay, I'll just put 11 on here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cruz.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a great day.
You're good to hang up. You too. Mr. Matson, on Gerald St. Louis, and I do have Gerald St. Louis back in the meeting. Where are we? I'm sorry. I
thought I had already unmuted myself. Mr. St. Louis said that he would like to just pay his ticket.
Okay. Mr. St. Louis, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Paying your ticket just triggers a no contest plea, and we accept that plea and accept that payment. You can pay online or you can pay by phone. But I'll be asking, can you do that? Are you doing that in full today?
The thing is, I will make the payment, but it won't be today because I don't have any job and I don't have any income. So I don't know if it's possible. Can I do it like next week? Like make the payment next week?
Okay, hold on just a moment. Let me back up, okay? First of all, there's a disregarding an official traffic control device. The pleading options are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. The fines and costs are $234. How are you pleading to that charge?
I mean, like the thing is, like the officer stopped me.
Really need to stop you right there. Stop for a minute.
I'm sorry,
can't.
ma'am.
No, listen for a moment. I can't have a trial right now. We're not set up to do that. Everybody has the right to a trial. If we're having a trial, you're pleading not guilty, and we're going to get the officer and you in, and we'll decide it then. If you're trying to pay it, you're going to trigger a conviction. You're not wanting to pay it today. I'm trying to make an order that I must make today, and I'm either going to schedule you to come in for trial or I'm going to schedule you for payment. I can't schedule you for payment and do a trial at the same time. I can't sentence someone and not sentence someone at the same time. You indicated through Mr. Matson that you were entering a plea and making payment. I'm asking for your plea at this time, which is not an explanation, it's a plea. The options are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. How are you pleading?
I'm guilty.
Okay. Now, you are saying you are unable to pay, but that you're going to have a job and make payment in full next week. That doesn't work for me. I wouldn't, if I had no money today, unless I'm getting paid next week, I'm not going to be able to get a job and get paid and pay $234 the next week. I can order community service, but tell me how this is going to work, because it needs to work. What is it that you're?
I'll go with community service.
Okay, that turns into 12 hours. The City of Temple is one of the providers on the list. You don't have to go there, but I do need your signature on a waiver form. If you leave the list, you have to get that pre-approved, and there's a 2-week window to get that done by January 5th. Otherwise, you'll need to use the list and get your hours turned in by January 24th. I need you to come by the court to sign for it. When can I expect you to be here?
Let me see. I'm in Austin right now. Can I come Monday?
No.
Let me see.
I can do an email.
You know. Okay.
If I email it to you, you've got to print it, sign it, and get it back to me today, or no deal.
I will.
You're emailing in? You're emailing it back today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll send it to the. What is your email? Do we have an email on file for him? What is your email?
It's Jimmy Walmart 22 at gmail.com.
JIMMY
Yes, ma'am.
WALMART at what?
After Walmart, it's 22 at gmail.com.
JIMMYWALMART 22 at gmail.com.
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay, we'll send that to you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay. Folks, hang on one moment. On Aerial Day, yeah, they just kept having trouble. Where were we? I probably need to come out after we finish, but yeah, I can come out and visit with them. Oh, this says they're here in the lobby. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I would just come out there once I'm done here.
Okay.
Because unless y'all want to put them in, and I can do that, you can put them in through to the meeting. But I mean, I don't know how to do this by phone through Zoom unless you put them in Zoom or come out in the lobby. What other options would I have?
Well, he's on Zoom this in the meeting. I just didn't know if he needed to talk to both at the same time because they're on the one landline phone.
Oh, that's the 254 number that I let
Yeah.
in? Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. I do it on the phone all the time. I just did a phone one. I've got 2 more coming up. Not sure why that's, we do it all the time. Mr. Mattson, I do have Armando Chavez on the meeting. Armando Chavez, can you unmute, please?
Can you hear me?
Hi, it's gonna really work out better if you sit down.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down in the truck. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I'm gonna move you over to a meeting with Mr. Mattson, the prosecutor, on your case.
Okay.
Okay. On the telephone, I have Ariel Day, the family, and I know y'all are in the lobby. Your phone died. That's fine. So where we were, can you unmute? Did they not have speakerphones out there? Well, let them know that I'll come out after the meeting's over. We're almost done. And I mean, I don't know why this seems like we've never done it before, but we do it all the time. On the Day case, I'm gonna hang them up. Someone's coming out to talk to you, and I'll be with you live shortly. And I am just going to move forward with my next person, which is going to be Shawnquavia Tolbert. I'm sorry, I accidentally hit mute when you unmuted. I apologize. There we go. How are you doing today? Can you unmute?
I thought I did. Okay. Yes.
You actually did, but you hit it right when I hit it, so
Okay.
we canceled each other out.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Now we're good. So, okay, let me walk you through this. Can you kind of sit down and hold still?
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you the way to
I'm getting
technology.
sleepy. I've been up. I worked last night. I'm sleepy now. Okay.
I understand.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot to go through though. So I just,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I need you to be quiet for a moment because every little noise is going to
I'm going to put my phone back on mute until it's my turn to talk. Okay.
that'll work. Yeah. It challenges the technology, and what'll happen is you won't hear anything I have to tell you. But I'm going to be asking you a few things. Okay, so I did receive your information from the jail time that you have, and I certainly will apply all eligible jail time appropriately under the law, which is generous. It's actually generous the way the law works right now. So we have some older cases that I think will clear, financially clear. But I'm just going to let you know what those are. And then what I'll do next is the cases that I need to accept a plea. I'll confirm your pleas. Then I'll apply the jail time and we'll go from there. Okay? Okay. So there's an older case. It's from 2017. It's a license invalid charge. It's 48867 and it went to a KPS warrant, which means a court order was had, but it wasn't completed. And I think that I'll be able to clear that one out. I'll double check that in a moment. Then there is a disregarding an official traffic control device. It's really the same answer. The balance is 370, 310. And again, I think that the jail time will probably clear that. There is an unrestrained child charge. These are all still 2017. It's 434.20, and I believe I can clear that one through jail credit. And again, I'll just verify that in a moment. There's an invalid license from later in 2018. It's from December 2018. It again has a KPS, which is a type of fine again. It's 462.67, and I believe I'll be able to clear that out through jail time as well. Then a registration to the vehicle charge, it's 292.50, and that is from December to 2018, and I believe I can clear that with jail credit. Now, moving forward, let me just verify that page that I can clear that. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. So yeah, those can all be issued time served. Now moving forward, give me a moment. There is a driving while license invalid charge from August 22nd of 2020, and the fines and costs are $440.30. And I did receive a plea of guilty to that charge. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes.
Okay. There is a no insurance charge from that same stop. The fines and costs are $440, and I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes.
Okay. Then a speeding charge, 81 and a 60, and the fines and costs. This is from the same stop, August 22nd of 2020. The fines and costs are $509.20, and I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes.
And an expired motor vehicle registration charge. The fines and costs are $151, and I received a plea. Hold on. I've got the wrong one. Hang on a minute. Okay, there is a failing to display a license charge. The fines and costs are $440.30, and I did receive a plea of guilty. Is that your plea today?
Yes, I don't remember that, but yes.
Okay, it was the same stop. It was the same exact stop as all the other ones I was just taking your plea
I
on.
know. No, I'm just saying. I just don't know why they gave me that because I always have my number. You know, like I don't know. I wouldn't have failed to display it, but it's too old to go back. So guilty.
Okay. Yeah, well, you got to show the card.
Right.
There is an expired motor vehicle registration charge from that stop. No, I'm sorry, November 15th of 2022. There is an expired motor vehicle registration charge. The fines and costs are 151. How are you pleading to that charge?
Oh, guilty.
Okay. Let me check on one thing with that. Do we is she on time for that one?
No, I wasn't on. You talking about for court?
Yes.
No, because I was arrested and didn't even know I had a ticket until I was cleaning my car out and there was a ticket. See, because I was pulled over and was going to be given a warning. I moved the car over and then he said I was being arrested. So the tickets that he was going to give me, he never actually placed in my hand because I went to jail to Bell County for
Yeah,
license invalid.
yeah, I see that from the record. Okay. Has the
Yeah, so-
registration, listen for a moment, has the registration been done?
No, the registration hasn't been done because I have to get what is it? Some stuff I have to do. My windshield. I need to get my windshield fixed. It is shattered, so it's not going to pass the inspection right now.
Okay. All right. Do you want to move forward with all the cases today?
Yes, let's move forward.
Okay. It actually looks like this one time I'm able to time serve you the cases and clear you out.
Oh, yeah, ain't that good. Look at that. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm making notes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll release the holds that we have. We might have a hold on your registration. I'm not positive. It's entirely possible. Okay. So you might want to check with the, registrar's office and see. I know I have a hold on your license. This is going to affect your license, all of these convictions. There's no way around it. Literally, if I even did a deferral on every case, it would still do the same thing. So that's just added paperwork. So we have a packet available if you want to swing by and get how to get a driver's license, occupational license packet from us. You can do that, or you can go online and find the information that we print for you here. You can find that information online if you want to lawfully drive. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So you can swing by and get a copy of it. All right. Do we have this at the front? Okay. A clerk can help you with that. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Ms. Tolbert. You're
Yes,
good to
ma'am.
go.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, I know that you were talking to Armando Chavez, and if you would just give me an update where we are.
Your Honor, we're going to go ahead and set these for final, but
Okay.
I believe that all three of them are going to be resolved prior to that date.
Okay. I'm scheduling a final pretrial. That is a court date for you, Mr. Chavez, February 8th at 3 o'clock. That was already included on your paperwork. Please be aware of the court date. You can call the morning of and make sure that everything is off the docket if you think it's supposed to be. But if the clerk says it's still on for now, get here at your time so that we can clear up any misunderstandings. Otherwise, if it's off, you're good to go. If it's on, be here, okay?
Okay, February the 8th, right?
February the 8th at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I just have a quick question before I let Mr. Matson go. I had Mr. Don Williams.
He's been set for
Final.
final.
Okay, do I?
Combine all of his cases too.
Right, but he's not on this list. So is he supposed to be here?
No.
Okay.
He was here last week and I don't know, she never put it back.
Okay, that's fine. All right, it wasn't, I thought I needed to check in with you about something. I don't. Do you have anything that you need to check in with me about before you go?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Matson. You're good to go.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good holiday weekend.
Happy holidays. You too. And yours, all of your people. So last, of course, but not least, Ms. Kelso, how are you doing? Carla Kelso.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. It's funny, you weren't actually supposed to be the last person, but somebody else dropped off the call. So let me kind of give you a rundown of where we are.
Okay.
And I think on yours, we're just trying to get you back on track.
Yes.
Hang on just a minute here. Let me do a deeper kind of look. And let me just read everything real quickly. Okay, thank you for your notes. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Let's see. So we had, give me just another moment.
It's okay.
At your job, are you paid every 2 weeks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what day of the week is that?
Wednesdays.
Okay, and then let's see. Are you in housing or you have a roommate situation?
No, I'm in housing. I got 3 boys. They're my roommates.
Great, that's good. And it looks like you've got the food stamps covering pretty well. That's helpful.
Yes, ma'am. It's really helpful.
Yeah, I'm glad. Because I have a boy, and I got to tell you, they eat.
Oh, they eat.
They eat. Phew, it's like, really?
And then don't even get really big, just grow taller.
I think that's true. Listen, I can get you back on track with your community service. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm just going to confirm the numbers because they might have changed a little. We had a few things happen.
Okay.
With missing kind of deadlines. It turns into 60 hours total. Were you doing your hours somewhere, or did you not?
I was trying to. It was like it's
okay.
like me trying to do something and everything keep on hitting me where I couldn't focus on the one task at hand. Like my house got shot in. It was just a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. Well, it's not a problem that you didn't get started. I mean, I wish you had, but we're where we are. If you were doing it somewhere, I just wanted to confirm that it was a place where you could do it,
okay.
and see if I could get the hours in. You're right over here on the north side.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a few places close by because I didn't see a car payment, and so I wasn't sure if you had.
No, I don't have a car.
Yeah. So there are some places around this area where you can do the work. Probably the coolest one is St. Vincent, because they also will help you with food there, by the way, if you tell them.
Oh,
You
I
gotta
didn't think
tell
they
them.
were still open.
Really?
I don't know. I used to ride past there and I used to didn't see all the stuff that normally be out there. So
think it's
maybe they just put everything in.
I think it's just been weather on that.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got, anyway, there's a list of places that I'm going to give you, and then and I can email that to you. I already have a signature, so don't need that, but I'll send you the list, the rules, and the timesheet.
Okay.
If you're gonna leave the list, if you leave the list, it needs to get pre-approved. Okay.
Okay.
Right now, I'm going to put a due date of February 21st.
Okay, that's fine. I should be able to.
Pre-approval would need to happen by January 5th if you're leaving the list, okay? So you got to make that decision right away. Look at the list, pick a place, call and check on it, and then if you say, I'm doing something else, we need you to check in and make sure that we're going to approve those hours when you turn them in. Otherwise, otherwise you turn them in and we might say we can't take those. I will take community service from any current up-to-date nonprofit.
Okay.
Right. And then there's some other things like it can't be a family member. The person has to be authorized to supervise. We need to know that they're really supervising and not just turning you loose. There's a few things. So
yes, ma'am.
So you can use the list. That's already been decided. If you leave the list, there's a process to follow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'll send that all to you.
Okay.
Through email, and you have a new due date. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, Miss Kelsa. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Happy holidays.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. Thank
you. Hang in there.
I am. I'm only the strong survive.
I believe that. And I'll tell you
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
you know, if you see that you can't meet a deadline, reach out to us.
Okay.
Don't wait for us to reach out. Okay.
Okay, I sure will. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best this time.
Okay.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mhm.
Seeing no further persons,